Good afternoon and welcome again to my virtual class. In our last class we were looking at the semi-formal letter, and one of the things we looked at what a semi-formal letter is. We looked at the features, and I gave you an assignment to actually write a letter to an uncle of yours who is a professor seeking help on your career and admission into a school. I hope you were able to do that. I haven't seen a couple of you submit your assignments, but I'm looking forward to seeing it so I can read your letters and probably give you a feedback. Today we're going to be looking at a different topic, and our topic is actually consonant sounds. This topic is very important because it will carry about 30 marks in your SSC examination. You will be having about 15 questions on it, and then another 15 questions also under phonetic symbols. So altogether it forms about 30 marks under oral English section of your SSC examination. So it's very important. Now, one of the problems that students often have looking at consonant sounds is their inability to pronounce the sounds correctly, their inability to be able to identify the letters that actually represent a given sound, and particular certain consonant sounds that are very difficult for students to actually pronounce or identify. In today's class, one of the things I expect you to be able to do, or several things I expect you to do, is to be able to define for me what a consonant sound is. You should be able to identify the total number of consonant sounds in the English language. You should be able to identify the different letters that represent these consonant sounds. And most importantly, you should be able to pronounce the consonant sounds, actually recognize them in words. Certain consonant sounds can actually be spelt by a couple of letters in a word, but sometimes they will be silent. That's another challenge that students often have, where you have silent letters. For instance, in the word pneumonia, P is actually silent there, but it's spelled there. There's P before the N and all that. It's silent. So you should be able to recognize, through this class, you'll be able to recognize places where you have silent letters and be able to identify them, so that when you are picking out your answers, you don't pick the wrong answers thinking that they're actually there. So let's start straight away by looking at what a consonant sound is. So, a consonant sounds are speech sounds produced with either partial or total obstruction of airstream. What this simply means is that certain consonant sounds, when you pronounce them, there will either be some kind of blockage of the air coming out, traveling from your lungs through your glottis and out through your mouth cavity or your nasal cavity. And remember that different kinds of sounds are formed depending on where they come out from, where the air comes out from. If it comes out from your nasal cavity or from your nasal cavity, there are different sounds that are produced. For the consonant sounds, all of them have some kind of obstruction. While some are partial, others are total. So if you pronounce a word like mammal, the in that sound has total obstruction. Is one of the sounds, one of the consonant sounds, and it has total obstruction of airstream because the lips will actually block. If you pronounce the sound slowly, you will find that your lips actually blocks the air coming out from your, traveling from your lungs completely. But if you pronounce a sound like, you discover that the air is still coming out even though your mouth and your teeth tries to block the air. That's partial obstruction. So we say consonant sounds are actually speech sounds produced with either partial or total obstruction of airstream. Now, we have a total of 24 consonant sounds in the English language. Some are voiced and others are voiceless. What do we mean when we say some are voiced and some are voiceless? Some sounds, when you pronounce them, your vocal cords, what you guys, a lot of you know as Adam Apple, your vocal cords will actually vibrate. If you say the sound, pronounce the sound on your own, say D, D. If you touch your vocal cords, you see that it vibrates. Those are voice sounds. What happens is that the air traveling through your lungs comes up to your glottis and is modified, so your vocal cord vibrates. Those kind of sounds, we call them voice sounds. While others are voiceless, they sound like S, If you pronounce it and touch your vocal cord, you will see that it does not vibrate. If you say s, your vocal cord is totally silent. But if you pronounce the sound d, d, touch your vocal cord, you will see that it's vibrating. So we have the consonant sounds can either be voiced or voiceless. Now all of these consonant sounds, 24 in all, are broken into 6 classes. They are broken into 6 classes, and it will actually be nice if you understand them based on how they are broken down. I'll show you the 6 classes of consonant sounds that we have. Also, all of these have their own consonant sounds. So the plosives, the affricates, the nasals, the fricatives, the laterals, and the gliding consonants, or if you like, call them semi-vowel sounds. All of these sounds, based on the way they are being pronounced. For instance, if you look at this one called the plosives, these are sounds that when they are pronounced, there is complete obstruction of S string. And then the air that is trapped is suddenly released. So if you have a sound like P, you see that it's kind of explodes. So you have plosives. Okay, if you hear B, you know, so they kind of they do show some kind of sudden release of the air, that is trapped because of the way the sound itself is pronounced, and that's what gives rise to the plosives. While the affricates on their own, there is just gradual release. So if you have a sound like ch or j, the air that is trapped is suddenly released. Now these other ones are called nasals because they are pronounced through your nasal cavity. When the air that is traveling from your lungs is actually trapped and cannot come out through your mouth cavity, rather it comes out through your nasal cavity. So if you have no nose, there are 3 sounds in the English language you cannot pronounce. If your nose is damaged, you can't pronounce a sound like n or If you hold your nostrils and try to say the sound itself cannot come out because that sound is produced through your nasal cavity. Others can come out through your mouth cavity, like your plosives, your affricates, and the rest. The fricatives themselves are those kind of sounds that create some hissing sound. So if you listen to the sounds like s, v, they all have some sounds that escapes while they are pronounced. So they are called fricatives. And then the laterals are those kind of sounds that the tongue seems to try to glide. So we call them laterals. And then the gliding consonants are like your vowel sounds. They are like almost like a vowel sound. So we call them semi-vowel sounds. So these are the 6 classes. We are going to know the consonant sounds based on their classes. It will actually help you. So the first class is actually plosives. Let's see. We have about 6 sounds there, and we are going to try to pronounce the sound itself and try to explain a couple of things about these particular sounds. So the plosives are 6 in number. Some of them are voiced, others are voiceless. Okay, so you have p, b, t, d, k, and g. Okay, they are all actually voiced based on the way they are pronounced. They are all voiced sounds. Now, p is the first sound under the plosives. P. The sound is pronounced p. If you join me, p. And the spelling symbol for p is actually p or double p. So for this word, you have pay, you have pin, and you have happy, apple, nap. The spelling symbol is either p or what? Double p. Okay, so you have pay, pin, happy, apple, nap. There are many more words. Now, you have to take note. For p, there are certain words where p is actually silent. For instance, it is silent in the word psychology, it is silent in the word pseudo, it is silent in the word pneumonia, it is silent in the word receipt. A lot of you say receipt, but when you find the word in a given exercise, you start to pronounce the word as receipt. There is no p in receipt, it's actually receipt. So the p, you are seeing that the p there is actually a silent letter and cannot actually be pronounced. So you have some silent letters in this sound for p. There are certain words that you spell, even though the letter p is there, is actually silent. We said pneumonia, we said pseudo, psychology, psychiatrist. Those are some words where you have silent p. Now we go on to the next sound. So this is p. and this is B. For B, the spelling symbol also is either B or double B. So if you pronounce this word B, you have ball, you have bee, you have rabbit, you have habit, you have cab. So and then you have some places too where B is also silent. For instance, in the word climb, the word is not climb, it's climb. B is silent. In the word plumb, B is silent. In the word plumber, we don't say plumber, we say plumber. In the word bomb, in the word bomber, not bomber and not bomb. So you have silent B. In climb, in comb is also silent. In plumb, in plumber, in bomb, in bomber, in tom, in nom is also silent. B is also silent in those words. So you need to take notes. Then for the next sound, so we have P, we have B, and then we go on to T. For T, the spelling symbol is also T or double T, like you have here on the board. T, you have T, T, you have top, attack, salt, cat, stop. The spelling is actually either T or double T, but there are places where you also have silent letters. For instance, in the word listen, we do not pronounce the T. We say listen, not listing, like many of you would say. That word is not listing, the word is listen. Then we also have words like castle. It's not castle, it's castle. Then we have words like whistle, T is also silent. Nestle, T is also silent. For Christmas, T is also silent. We don't say Christmas, we say Christmas. So T is also silent in that word. So for the word listen, Christmas, whistle, castle, nestle, bristle, the T there, even in often and in subtle, the T is silent there. So we don't say often, we say often. We don't say subtle, we say subtle. Okay, so take note of those words, they are very important. Then we also have the next sound. So we have this P, B, T, and then we come to D. For D, you have the spelling symbol as D or double D. Okay, D or double D. So you have D, dark, D, dad, D, order, D, ladder, D, rider, D. That's the sound for this. So you have P, B, T, D, and this is pronounced as K. Now for this particular sound, you have several spelling symbols. Unlike these other ones where you have the same letter representing the sound itself in words. For K, the spelling symbol can either be K, just a single K, or it can be C or CH. So you have for K, it can come as C, it can come as CH, it can actually come as K, like you have in all these words. So K, kill, K, king, K, market, K, cares, K, cap. So your sound here is K, but if you are looking for a particular place where you have the word, don't forget that CH and C also can actually fit in as the sound K. Then we have the last one for the plosive there, you have G, G. The spelling symbol for this is always G, always G. Spelling symbol, pronunciation G. Spelling symbol G. So you have goat, G, goat, G, good, G, again, target. Some people call this word target. It is not target, it is not G. It's target, target, G. And then you have rag, rag. So let's go through these sounds again. You have P, B, T, D, K, and G. Again, P, B, T, D, K, and G. So these are the 6 sounds under the plosives. We go on to the affricates. Under the affricates, we have just 2 sounds. Under the affricates, we have 2 sounds. I already explained to you that the affricates are those kind of sounds that when you try to pronounce them, the air is completely trapped but gradually released. So this sound is actually pronounced as ch, ch. If you listen again, I'll pronounce it again, ch. And the spelling symbol mostly for these is actually CH. But if you look at the board very well, you will see that it's not only CH that represents this sound. You also have T here, ritual, ritual. You also have T here, picture, picture, ritual, picture, ch, chief, ch, cheap, ch, benches, ch, preacher, ch, march, and ritual and picture. So don't always imagine that this sound, the spelling symbol is always CH. The spelling symbol can also be what? T, as you have it in ritual and in picture. So then we go on to the next one. So this is pronounced as ch. The next affricate is pronounced as j, j. Now, a lot of students often have challenge pronouncing this sound or recognizing it in words. Now, the spelling symbol is mostly this letter J, okay? Letter J. And sometimes it can actually be G as in region. It can be GE as in cage. It can be DGE as in edge. And it can be D as in soldier and education. I don't know, a lot of you mispronounce this word. You often say education. It's not education, it's education. Education, because you have D there. Okay, so we have the two sounds here, ch and j. Ch and j. Spelling symbol for ch is CH or T, and while you have spelling symbol for j. Mostly J, but at other times it can be G, it can be GE, it can be DGE or D, as in soldier and education. It can be that as well. So I'll go back to the next slide so that we can pronounce the sounds from where we started from. We said P, B, T, D, K, and G. Then we have the next two, Ch and J. Then we go on to the nasal sounds. Now, the nasal sounds are those sounds that you pronounce through your nasal cavity. If you've got no nose, I'm sorry, you won't be able to pronounce any of these sounds. If you hold on to your nostrils and you try to achieve for instance, it's not going to come out because it needs your nose where the air itself comes out from. So you have you have n, and you have These are the three nasal sounds we have in the English language. And so the there is actually represented by either M or double M. Okay? So we say man, move, remind, mummy, Sam, sling, Sam, sling. Okay? So you have as the sound here. And then for this, it's actually n. It does not have any place where it is silent. So wherever is pronounced, you hear the sound there. Then n itself can either come as n or double n. So you have nurse, you have note, you have cannon, you have running. A lot of times when you have running nose, some of you say I have running nose. It's not running nose, it's running. Double N-Y, running nose, and then you have sinner and you have moon. Okay, so it's either this sound is represented by single letter N or double letter N as you have on the board. Now there are places where it is actually silent. So if you have a word like damn, D-A-M-N, or condemn, C-O-N-D-E-M-N, the N at the end there is silent. So every time you have N after M, if N comes after M, most times it will actually be silent. N will be silent. So in the word damn, even though you have N, you have the N there, it's not pronounced. Also in condemn, you have N at the end, but it's actually not pronounced. So take note of those two words. Then for the last one, its spelling symbols are actually two. You have either NK or NG. A lot of times when you have NK at the end of words or NG, you're not supposed to pronounce the G again. So for this word, for instance, you should actually say wrong, not wrong, not wrong, not bang, not ringing. It's actually ing, singer, tang, wing, wrong, bang, ringing, bang, rang, because the sound is So again, like in bang, run. So let's go back again and see n, and those are the three nasal sounds we have in the English language. The only one where you have silent letters is actually this one. So for words like condemn or damn, n is silent. So if you find them in words and they're asking you to pick an option, know that condemn and damn do not have the sound n in them. Now we go on to the fricatives. That's where you have the longest number of consonant sounds. You have the fricatives. There are almost 8 of them, if not 9. So you have the first two. Here you have some of them which have voice. Some of them are voiced the way they are paired. Some of them are voiced and some are voiceless. For instance, f is voiceless while v is voiced. So if you check f, it is voiceless and v is voiced. So for this one, your spelling symbol, you have several spelling symbols for f. So you have f it can be spelled as f in words. For this word f, fan. It can also be spelled as ph, phantom, sounding f, and it can also be spelled as gh here, cuff or laugh. And then you also have it as double F in words like suffer and affair or cough or off. So for this sound, f, it has how many spelling symbols? About 3 spelling symbols. You have 4 spelling symbols. You have F, you have PH, you have double F, and you have what? GH, representing this particular sound. So if you are looking for f in a word, look out for either GH. If you don't find GH, look out for F. If you don't find F, look out for double F. If you don't find double F, look out for PH. So the sound again is f. The sound again is f. Then we come to the next sound, that's v. In v, the only spelling symbol is V, okay, except for this word of, which you often pronounce as off. It's not off. This is off. This one is of. Take note, and why it's so nice, they know that you pick this option. Okay, you will say this one is not. When they give you this word, you will say it is f. You will not pick that option. They will not give you several other words where you don't have these sounds, and so you have problem with this. They can give you this letter, okay, and then they will give you options. So put other words and put this one there. You will not be saying there's no answer. I can't find verb. Know now that this particular word is pronounced as of, not off. If you are looking for off, it's this word. Okay, with double F. So v, most times spelling symbol is always V as in voice, van, river, revisit. This word is revisit, not revisit. It's not s. Okay, then we have 5, we have brave, we have verse, and then we have of. Then we go to the next sound. These two sounds are actually paired. This is this voiceless version and this is the voice version. So if you pronounce this sound, you'll be having sh. Now, the good thing about this sound is the fact that it has lots of spelling symbols, but it's quite simple. Now, if you look at the first word there, it says shake, shh. The sound is shh, and the word is what? Shake. Now, look at the second word. I purposely put it there. I put it there on purpose because a lot of you has bastardized this particular word, especially science teachers. They will pronounce this word as prayer. I don't know how this sound looks like prayer. It's not prayer. It's pressure, pressure, pressure. The word is what? Pressure, pressure, not prayer. I don't see the relationship between prayer and pressure. So this sounds shh. The word pressure. This sound fashion. What's the spelling symbol here? SH. Spelling symbol here? Double S. Spelling symbol here? SH. Fashion. And here, mission. And here, just a single S. Sugar. And here, this word again is another word you guys pronounce wrongly. You often say chic. It's not chic. It's chic. 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 And here, the spelling symbol is T. You say nation. nation. Here, spelling symbol is CI, you say social. Here, it is C, you say ocean. And here, this word is another word you guys pronounce wrong. You say chassis, it's not chassis, it's chassis, chassis, chassis. And this one also, chalet, not chalet, chalet. This one also, not mustache, it's mustache, 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 chalet, chassis, ocean, social, pressure, please, pressure, pressure. Sorry, just a minute. Okay, we're back there, pressure. So take note. Then here, this is the voice version of this. This is shh, and this one is what? Zzz. So here we have measure. Spelling symbol is mostly S. So you have measure, closure, mirage. This word you often bastardize as well. You say vision. It's not vision, it's vision. Vision. So also is this one, occasion, not occasion. So if you say occasion, you will be pronouncing it as this one, as sh. Meaning in the exam, they give you an option to pick out options. You go and pick this. You pick this, you're wrong. So for this word, for instance, vision, occasion, even revision, they are all, and even revision, occasion, they are all under this sound. So this sound can either be pronounced either as, is mostly S. You have measure here, S, closure, S, mirage. Okay, for mirage, that's the only place you have it as GE. And then you have vision here, leisure, and occasion. Then we go on to this other one is S. This has got lots of spelling symbols. So you have S here, snail. The sound is S, snail. Gospel here. Fancy is C here, C here. Fancy. For race is CE. For fix is actually X. And for mass is double S. For tense is SE, for scheme it is SC. So it has lots of spelling symbols. And the sound again is S. Let's go through F, V, Sh, Z, and S. Okay? Then we go on, let's finish the fricatives. We still have more for the fricatives, the last group. This is another sound, Z. A lot of times spelling symbol will be Z, okay, or Z if you like, and then at other times it will be S, so don't be deceived. At other times it could be S. So if you look at this word here, it is actually Z, lazy, zoo, buzz. Why here? It is actually S, but it is pronounced as what? Was. If you look at this one, visit, and then this is exit, 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 okay, and then you have days. Days. Then you have pleasant, pleasant. The Z is there. And then exact, exact. So you have, for this E alone is I, G, and then you now have the X as Z. So this word is pronounced as what? Exact. Not exact. 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 Pleasant. Lazy. So for Z, you can either have spelling symbol as Z, double Z, or S. As in this other word, and X as well. Then you now have this other sound that a lot of people from the West have problems pronouncing. So they don't. If the Westerner says heat, he says I want to go and eat, but I'm feeling heat. So we don't even know the difference between the eat, because they find it very difficult to pronounce this sound H. So if you are one of those people having challenges, just open your mouth and blow air through it. Ha, that's the sound. Ha, ha, heat, hearse, high, whose. This word is not whose, it's whose. This word is not who, it is who, who. The W is silent there. Who, whose, not who and not whose. These two sounds, W is silent there. We don't say whose, we don't say who. We say who. And we say whose, who. So the sound house, again, ha, house, ha, hook, ha, home. This one is also silent. What is also silent here. It's silent in whole, it's silent in whose, it's silent in who. Okay? And then H is silent in a group of other words. For instance, the word vehicle is actually pronounced as vehicle. You people say vehicle. Many of you say vehicle. It's not vehicle, it's vehicle. And then also in the word honor, it's not honor, it's honor. Honor, silent letter A. So the word, for instance, honor, the H there is silent, so we say honor, not honor. It's also silent in the word heir to the throne. We don't say heir to the throne, we say heir to the throne, heir to the throne. So H-E-I-R, H is silent. Vehicle, H is silent. Annihilate, annihilate, annihilate. Okay, H is also silent in annihilate. Okay, we don't say annihilate, we say annihilate. Okay, so you have a couple of places where H is actually silent. I said honor, honesty, air, and so and words like that. Then these two sounds are the two other sounds that students often have challenge with, because the two of them are actually represented by only TH. Everywhere you find them, this sound, th. If you try to pronounce this sound, the way to get it correctly is to try to pronounce the sound T. Okay, the sound T. But in trying to pronounce it, the tip of your tongue must come out to touch your teeth ridge, your alveolar ridge. Okay, so you go th, 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 th. So I say theme, ethics, bath. This is another word that students often pronounce and call bath. I don't know how bath and bath are related. They are not related. This word is bath. I want to have my bath. Have you taken your bath? Okay, so it's bath, not bath. And then this one is birth. This is worth. This is another word that is mostly bastardized. You say healthy. It's not healthy. It's healthy. Healthy. Wealthy. This is breath. This is thick. And this is thrill. And this is think. The sound again, th, 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 thin, th, thick, and healthy, and wealthy, and breath. Now, how do I differentiate this sound from this one? You know, I told you, if you're trying to pronounce this sound, try to pronounce the sound T, but allow you the tip of your tongue to touch your teeth ridge, th, right? Now, for this other one, try to pronounce as if you want to pronounce the sound D, as in dog, okay? But allow the same tip of your tongue to touch your teeth ridge. So you say the, then, there, brother, bathe. Can you see this is the verb of this word? This one is bath. So instead of saying I want to go and bath, please say I want to go and bathe. The word is bathe. Bathe. This one is bath. This is the noun version. Have you had your bath? Noun. But I want to bathe. That means the process of going to have your bath. Okay, is bathe here. And then if you look at this word, I have it here as breath. Okay, that is the process of breathing is now what? Breathe. This is breathe, the verb, and this is the noun breath. Okay, the noun breath. That thing is called breath, and then the process itself is what? Breathe. So you have lots of other words there: rhythm, though, breathe. Now let me explain something about these two sounds. To actually get it straight away, a lot of times you discover that you pronounce these words, all the sounds here where you have TH, you often say them as if they are T. You say thing, you say ethics, you say bats, you say bets. So the sounds that have TH that you pronounce as T are actually this one. Why the ones that this one, naturally you pronounce them as if they are D. You will say dan, you will say den, you will say dear. That's what, as if it's D. Okay? So the ones you pronounce as D are actually this sound, the. So while in the exam you're trying to differentiate between the two of them, the sounds that you pronounce as T are actually this sound, while the ones you pronounce as D are actually this one. Okay? I think we may not be able to go beyond this group of sounds. Maybe in subsequent class we'll be able to finish it. I'll just go over them again from the start so that we can come up to this point. I know we have left two other groups of sounds, the laterals and the we have the laterals left and the semi-vowels. Okay, but in another class we'll be able to look at them. So quickly, let's just go from top to bottom, pronounce the sound, and we can bring it to an end. We have P, B, T, D, K, and G. And And then we have ch, j. We have n, and ng. Then we have f, v, s, sh, z, and s. Then we have z, ha, th, and v. So we'll end the class here today. In subsequent class, we'll be able to look at the other two, and then more words where we have silent letters, and then we can have a classwork. If you have any questions or any challenge while you're trying to pronounce the sounds, just leave your questions on the discussion part of Prodigy, and I will respond and see what I can do to help you through with your sounds. Thank you very much for listening.